I was replacing the last shingle when sweat dripped into my eyes, stung like hell. Below me, Nessa held the ladder steady. From this angle, I could see the gray streaks in her dark hair, glinting in the July sun. Wearing James's old Springsteen t-shirt, I should have finished and left. That's what a good friend would do. But when she looked up, shielding her eyes with one hand, and said, "Careful up there, Nathan," I knew I wasn't going anywhere. 3 years since James died in the warehouse fire that should have killed me instead. 3 years of fixing everything in this house except the one thing I wanted most. Her heart. I hammered in the final nail, climbed down. Nessa was standing 6 inches away, close enough that I could smell her shampoo. Lavender. The same kind she'd been using since James was alive. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For the roof, the gutter, the fence, all of it. It's nothing. It's not nothing." The afternoon heat pressed down on us. The air between us felt thick, charged. I wanted to step back, create distance, but my feet wouldn't move. "Nathan, I should go." We both spoke at once. Stopped. She laughed. Small, nervous. "Sorry." "What were you saying?" I looked at her. Really looked at her. She was beautiful. Not in the way a 20-year-old is beautiful. In the way a woman who's survived grief is beautiful. Lines around her eyes. A mouth that's learned to smile through pain. James used to say she was the strongest person he knew. He was right. "Nothing," I said. I lost my balance. Stumbled. She caught my arm, steadied me. Her hand was warm, small against my bicep. We were closer now, 3 inches, maybe 2. "Nathan," she whispered. I don't know who moved first, but suddenly, we were kissing. Her lips were soft, desperate. She tasted like coffee and grief, and something I couldn't name. I kissed her like I'd been drowning for 3 years and she was air. She pulled away first. Her eyes were wide, terrified. "I can't," she choked out. "I can't do this." She backed away, nearly tripped over a toolbox. "Nessa, you should go." "Let me explain, Nathan. Please, just go." I went. I sat in my truck for 20 minutes, staring at my hands on the steering wheel. They were scarred, burns from the warehouse fire, the fire that took James and left me alive. I remember the heat, the smoke, the sound of the roof collapsing. James went left, I went right. When I got outside, he wasn't behind me. I tried to go back in. Captain Davis tackled me, held me down while I screamed James's name. They found him on the 3rd floor. Collapsed lung, smoke inhalation. He was 35, I was 30, and I've spent every day since trying to understand why I lived and he didn't. The warehouse fire haunts me every night. I see it when I close my eyes. Smell the smoke, feel the heat. James and I went in together. Standard procedure. 2-man team. The building was already engulfed. Flames licking the ceiling. Smoke so thick I couldn't see 2 feet in front of me. "Split up," James said through the radio. "I'll take the left wing. You take the right." "Copy that." Those were the last words I ever said to him. I found a woman on the 2nd floor, unconscious. I carried her out. When I got outside, I looked around. "No, James. Where's Brooks?" Captain Davis shouted. My blood ran cold. "He's still inside." The roof collapsed. The sound was deafening, like the world ending. I ran back toward the building, screaming, "James! James!" Davis tackled me, held me down while I fought him. "Let me go. He's in there. Let me go." "It's too late, Pierce. No." They found him 3 hours later. 3rd floor. Collapsed lung. Smoke inhalation. He'd been trying to reach a family trapped in an apartment. He saved them, but he didn't save himself. I woke up in the hospital 2 days later. Nessa was sitting beside my bed. She looked like a ghost. Pale, hollow, eyes red from crying. "Nathan," she whispered. I couldn't speak. My throat was raw from smoke. From screaming. "They told me what happened," she continued. "They said you tried to go back in for him." I nodded, tears streaming down my face. "I'm sorry," I croaked. "I'm so sorry, Nessa. I should have gone left. I should have been with him. I should have. Stop." She took my hand, squeezed it. It's not your fault. But her eyes said something else. They said, asterisk. You lived, he died. Why? Asterisk. And I've spent every day since trying to answer that question. I didn't go back to Nessa's house for 2 weeks. Dylan texted me, asked where I was, asked if I was coming to his baseball game. I made excuses, but on the 3rd week, I couldn't stay away anymore. I showed up on Saturday morning. Dylan answered the door. Nathan, he grinned, hugged me. Where have you been? Busy at the station. Mom said you were avoiding us. I looked past him. Nessa was in the kitchen. She didn't look at me. I'm not avoiding anyone, buddy. Promise. Dylan dragged me inside. Come on. I want to show you something. Dylan's room was covered in posters, baseball players, superheroes. On his desk, a photo of James in his firefighter uniform. Dylan picked it up, stared at it. I don't remember his voice anymore, he said quietly. My chest tightened. What? His voice. I used to remember it, but now, I can't. I knelt beside him. You were 6 when he died, Dylan. It's okay if you don't remember everything, but what if I forget him completely? I put my hand on his shoulder. You won't, because he's in you. The way you throw a baseball, the way you laugh, that's all him. Dylan looked at me, tears in his eyes. Do you think he'd be proud of me? I know he would. He hugged me, tight. Over his shoulder, I saw Nessa standing in the doorway, crying. Before the crisis week, Dylan had the lead in his school play, Peter Pan. He was nervous, kept forgetting his lines. Second star to the right, he recited in the living room, and straight on till. Morning, Nessa prompted gently. Right, morning, Dylan groaned. I'm gonna mess this up. You're not, I said. You've got this, buddy. Will you both come? Of course, she said. What if Grandma comes? The room went quiet. Carol hadn't spoken to us in weeks, but Dylan still called her, left voicemails. She never responded. If she comes, I said carefully, we'll be respectful. We'll sit wherever you want us to sit. Dylan nodded, but I could see the worry in his eyes. The night of the play, the auditorium was packed. Nessa and I sat in the 3rd row. Dylan had saved us seats. The lights dimmed. The curtain rose. Dylan was brilliant. He didn't miss a single line. Moved across the stage with confidence. Nessa squeezed my hand. She was crying. Happy tears. He's amazing, she whispered. He is. Halfway through the 2nd act, I heard a voice behind me. He looks just like James. I froze. Carol. She was sitting 2 rows back, alone. Nessa heard her too. Her grip on my hand tightened. We didn't turn around, just watched the play. After the show, Dylan ran to us, still in his Peter Pan costume. Did you see me? Was I okay? You were perfect, Nessa said. She hugged him tight. The best Peter Pan ever, I added. Dylan grinned. Then his eyes flickered past us. Grandma? Carol was standing a few feet away. Dylan ran to her, hugged her. Carol's face crumpled. She hugged him back. You were wonderful, sweetheart, she whispered. Are you coming to the party? Carol's eyes met Nessa's, then mine. No, she said softly. I can't. Why not? Because. Carol's voice broke. It's complicated, Dylan. Dylan looked at Nessa. Then at me. Then back at Carol. Is it because of Nathan? Carol didn't answer. Dylan's face fell. But he's my Nathan, Dad. He's family now. Carol closed her eyes. I know, sweetheart. She kissed the top of his head, then turned and walked away. Dylan watched her go, tears in his eyes. Nessa knelt down, cupped his face. She doesn't hate you, baby. She's just hurting. Will she ever stop hurting? Nessa looked at me. I didn't have an answer. I don't know, she said finally. But we have each other, and that's what matters. After Dylan went outside to practice, Nessa and I stood in the kitchen. The silence was unbearable. Thank you, she said finally, for what you said to Dylan. I meant it. I know. She poured herself coffee. Her hands were shaking. Nessa, don't. She set the mug down. Don't say it. Say what? Whatever you're about to say about the roof. About the kiss. I stepped closer. The kitchen was cold air conditioning on full blast, but when I moved toward her, the air between us burned. I'm not sorry I kissed you, I said quietly. She closed her eyes. You should be. Why? Because James was your best friend. Because I'm his wife. Because you're 44 and I'm 32? Her eyes snapped open. What? That's what you're really afraid of. Isn't it? She laughed bitterly. You think this is about age? Isn't it? Nathan, look at me. She turned to face me fully. I have gray hair. I have crow's feet. My son is almost as tall as you. You're 32. You could date women who don't come with this much baggage. I stepped closer. 1 foot between us now. I don't want a woman who hasn't lived, I said. I don't want someone who's never known loss. I want someone who understands that survival is sometimes harder than dying. Her breath caught. And you're the only person who understands that, Nessa. We agreed to meet at the coffee shop on Maple Street. Neutral territory. She was already there when I arrived, hands wrapped around a mug. I slid into the seat across from her. Hi, I said. Hi. We sat in silence. The coffee shop hummed around us. Conversations, laughter, life. I've been thinking, Nessa said finally. About us. About everything. And I don't know if I can do this, Nathan. My chest felt like it was caving in. Why not? Because you deserve someone without all this grief. Someone younger. Someone who… Stop. Nathan, stop telling me what I deserve. I leaned forward. I'm 32, not 22. I know what I want, and I want you. She stared at me, tears streaming down her face. But what about James? What about him? He was your best friend. And you're the woman he loved. The woman he asked me to take care of. Her breath caught. What? The night before he died, we were at Murphy's bar. He made me promise. He said, if anything happens to me, take care of them. Nessa and Dylan. Make sure they're okay. Nessa's hands covered her mouth. I didn't know it would mean this, I continued. I didn't know I'd fall in love with you. But I did. Nathan. And I think James would understand. She was crying openly now. How do you know? Because he loved you, and he'd want you to be happy. We didn't label it, didn't tell anyone, but I started coming over more often. Staying for dinner, helping Dylan with homework. Nessa and I didn't kiss again, but we'd brush hands, reaching for the same dish. Sit close on the couch while Dylan watched TV. The tension was unbearable. One night, after Dylan went to bed, Nessa and I were washing dishes. Her hand touched mine in the soapy water. We both froze. Nathan, she whispered. I turned to face her. She was so close. 4 inches, maybe 3. Yeah? I'm scared. Of what? Of this. Of you. Of what people will think. I dried my hands, took hers in mine. People will think what they want. Carol will be furious. Your friends will judge. The guys at the station already whisper about me. Her eyes widened. They know? They suspect. And I don't care. She pulled her hands away. But I do, Nathan. I care. Because they're right. I am betraying James. I am. You're not. Then what am I doing? You're living. I cupped her face. You're choosing to live instead of drowning in grief. And there's no betrayal in that. She kissed me. This time, she didn't pull away. After my panic attack, Captain Davis mandated therapy. It's not optional, Pierce. So I went. Dr. Martinez was in her 50s. Kind eyes, patient voice. Tell me about James, she said. I sat on her leather couch, stared at my hands. He was my best friend. Tell me about the fire. I told her everything. The warehouse, the split up, the roof collapse. Do you blame yourself? She asked. Yes. Why? Because I went right. He went left. If I'd gone left, he'd still be dead, Nathan. And you might be too. I looked up at her. Survivor's guilt, she continued. It's common among first responders. You're punishing yourself for being alive. Shouldn't I be? No. But James had a wife, a son, a life. And you, what? Don't deserve to live? I didn't answer. Nathan, doctor, Martinez leaned forward. You're not just punishing yourself for surviving. You're punishing yourself for loving Nessa. My chest tightened. How did you? You mentioned her name 17 times in the last hour? I looked away. Do you think James would be angry? She asked. Yes. Why? Because I promised him I'd take care of her. Not. Not like this. What does like this mean? By falling in love with her. Doctor. Martinez was quiet for a moment. James asked you to take care of her, she said finally. And you are. In the most profound way possible. By loving her. By being there for her son. By showing up every day, even when it's hard. But I'm betraying him, are you? Or are you honoring him? I stared at her. Think about it, Nathan. If the roles were reversed, if you had died and James survived, would you want him to spend the rest of his life alone? Drowning in guilt? Or would you want him to live? I closed my eyes. I'd want him to live. Then why can't you give yourself the same grace? Carol showed up unannounced. Inside, I heard voices, raised, angry. I walked to the doorway. 3 years, Vanessa. Carol's voice was cold. 3 years? Since my son died? And now you have his best friend here? In his house? Carol, it's not. How long have you been sleeping with him? What? Don't lie to me. We're not. Carol turned. Saw me in the doorway. Her face twisted. You, Mrs. Pierce. Don't. She held up a hand. My son trusted you, Nathan. He died thinking you were his brother. And this is how you repay him? It's not like that. Then what is it like? Because from where I'm standing, you've been circling my daughter-in-law like a vulture. Waiting for James to be cold in the ground so you could swoop in? That's not true, Carol. Stop, Nessa started. No. Carol's voice broke. You're erasing him, Vanessa. You're replacing him. With a man 12 years younger who… Get out, Nessa said quietly. Carol stared. Get out of my house. Carol grabbed her purse, looked at Dylan, who'd appeared at the top of the stairs. I'm sorry you have to see this, sweetheart. She left. Dylan came downstairs. Is Grandma mad at me? Nessa pulled him close. No, baby. She's mad at me. Because of Nathan? Nessa nodded. Dylan looked at me. Are you my dad now? The room went silent. No, I said carefully. Your dad is James. He'll always be your dad. But I can be. Nathan dad. If you want? Dylan thought about it, then nodded. Okay. Nessa's friend Rachel showed up the next afternoon. I was in the living room with Dylan, watching baseball. Rachel walked right past me. Didn't say hello. Nessa, we need to talk. Nessa came out of the kitchen. Rachel, alone. I stood up. Dylan, let's go throw the ball outside. But the game, now buddy. We went outside, but I could hear them through the open window. Are you serious? Rachel's voice was sharp. James has been dead 3 years, and you're already with his best friend? It's not like that. Then what is it like? I don't know, Rachel. I don't know what this is. All I know is that Nathan has been here every single day, fixing things, helping Dylan, being there when no one else was. Out of guilt, maybe. At first. But what? You fell in love with him? Nessa, he's 32. You're 44. He's gonna wake up one day and realize he could be with someone younger. Someone without all this. I walked inside. Rachel turned. This is a private conversation. I'm not going anywhere, I said quietly. Nathan, Nessa started. No. I looked at Rachel. You think I'm using her? You think this is about guilt? Isn't it? At first, maybe. But I've been coming here for 3 years, Rachel. 3 years of fixing gutters and teaching Dylan to throw a curveball and sitting with Nessa when she cries on James's birthday. If this was just guilt, I would have left a long time ago. Rachel crossed her arms. And when you get tired of playing hero, I'm not playing anything. Then what are you doing? I'm loving her. I stepped closer. The way James would want someone to love her, completely. Without reservation. Without conditions. Rachel stared at me. Then, at Nessa. If you choose him, Rachel said quietly, don't expect me to understand. She left. Nessa sank onto the couch, buried her face in her hands. I sat beside her, pulled her close. I'm sorry, I whispered. For what? For making your life harder. She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face. You're not making it harder, Nathan. You're the only thing making it bearable. Captain Davis called me into his office. Sit down, Pierce. I sat, stared at my hands. Davis was 60, gray hair, scarred hands from 30 years of firefighting. He'd pulled me out of the warehouse rubble 3 years ago. The guys are talking, he said. I know. They think you've been waiting for Brooks to die, that you wanted his wife all along. My jaw clenched. That's not true. I know that. Davis leaned forward. But perception matters. And right now, you're the guy who's dating his dead partner's widow, a widow who's 12 years older than you. So people are calling it a midlife crisis. Hers. They're saying she's robbing the cradle, using you to feel young again. That's bullshit, maybe. But it's what they're saying. Davis Seahill. I'm not here to judge you, Nathan, but I need you to ask yourself, are you with her because you love her, or because you feel guilty about James? The question hung in the air. I don't know, I whispered. Then, figure it out, because if you're with her out of guilt, you're not doing anyone any favors. I went to Nessa's house that night. She was sitting on the porch. Alone. Hey, I said. She didn't look at me. Dylan asleep? Yeah. I sat beside her. The night air was cool. Crickets chirped. Carol called today, Nessa said quietly. What did she say? She said, if I keep seeing you, she'll never speak to me again. Or Dylan. My chest tightened. Nessa, she's right, Nathan. She's not. She is. Nessa looked at me. Her eyes were red, exhausted. Everyone is right. Rachel, Carol, the people at the fire station. I am robbing the cradle. I am betraying James. I am. Stop. I can't do this anymore. Her voice broke. I thought I could. But I can't. It's too hard. Too complicated. Too what? Too much. She stood up, walked to the door. I need space, Nathan. I need time to think. My world tilted. How much time? She shook her head. I don't know. Nessa, please, just go. I went. It happened on a routine call. Apartment fire. 3rd floor. We got everyone out. No casualties. But when I walked out of the building, I couldn't breathe. The smoke, the heat, the sound of the roof creaking. It was the warehouse fire all over again. I collapsed on the curb, gasped for air. Pierce! Captain Davis knelt beside me. You okay? I couldn't answer. My hands were shaking. My chest felt like it was caving in. Get the medics! They took me to the hospital. Panic attack, they said. Davis drove me home. You need to take time off, he said. I'm fine. You're not fine. And you haven't been fine since James died. I stared out the window. You're punishing yourself, Davis continued, for surviving. For falling in love with Nessa. For being alive when James isn't. I don't. Yes. You do. He pulled into my apartment complex. And until you forgive yourself, you're going to keep drowning. I sat in my apartment, stared at the walls, called Nessa. Nathan? What's wrong? Can you come over? Please. 20 minutes later, she was at my door. She found me on the floor of my living room. Nathan. She dropped to her knees beside me. What happened? I had a panic attack. At a fire. Oh. Nathan. I can't do this anymore, Nessa. My voice broke. I can't keep pretending. I'm okay. I'm not okay. I haven't been okay since James died. Since I kissed you. Since she pulled me into her arms, held me tight. It's okay, she whispered. You don't have to be okay. I clung to her. Like a drowning man. I'm scared, I admitted. I'm scared I'm going to lose you. That Dylan will forget me. That I'm going to mess this up. You're not going to lose us. How do you know? She pulled back. Looked me in the eyes. Because you're the one who stayed, Nathan. When everyone else gave up on me, you stayed. I didn't hear from Nessa the next day. Or the day after that. I texted Dylan. No response. I drove past the house. Carol's car was in the driveway. I kept driving. It was 2 a.m. when someone knocked. I stumbled out of bed, opened the door. Nessa. She was soaking wet. Rain dripped from her hair. Her coat. Her hands were shaking. Nessa, do you really promise me? She blurted out. I stared at her. What? Do you really promise me? Nathan? Her voice broke. Because I can't do this. If you're going to leave, I can't let Dylan love you. I can't let myself love you. If you're going to wake up one day and realize you want someone younger, someone easier. I stepped forward, took her face in my hands. I promise you everything, I said. Every single thing. Nathan, I promise I'll show up. I promise I'll stay. I promise I'll be there for Dylan. For you. For every late night call. Every broken gutter. Every bad day. Every gray hair. Every crow's foot. Every year that separates us. She was crying now. What if Carol never forgives us? Then she doesn't. What if people judge us? Let them. What if you change your mind? I won't. How do you know? I pulled her close, rested my forehead against hers, because 3 years ago, I should have died in that warehouse. But I didn't. And I think maybe I survived for this. For you? For Dylan? For this moment right here? She kissed me. Hard. Desperate. Like she'd been holding it in for 3 years. I kissed her back. We didn't hide it after that. Carol found out. Cut us off completely. Rachel stopped calling. Some of the guys at the station stopped talking to me. But we stayed. Months later, at the fire station memorial ceremony, I proposed. We were standing in front of James's name on the memorial wall. Dylan was beside me, almost as tall as me now. Wearing a junior firefighter jacket, the chaplain said a prayer. The bell rang 9 times. When it was over, Nessa took my hand. Nathan. Yeah? Ask me. I knelt down. Right there, in front of everyone, Vanessa Brooks. Will you marry me? She pulled me to my feet, kissed me. Yes, Dylan cheered. The other firefighters clapped, and I felt James's presence, like he was standing beside me. Smiling, thank you, brother, I whispered. 3 months later, we got married. Small ceremony, just Dylan, a few friends. No, Carol. Dylan was my best man. He wore James's firefighter badge on his lapel. Dad would have liked this, Dylan said. He would have liked you, Nathan, Dad. I hugged him. I hope so, buddy. Now, we're here. Dylan's 15. Training to be a firefighter. Just like his dad. Just like me. Nessa teaches English at the high school. Still keeps James's photo on the mantle. Carol sent a card last Christmas. Didn't sign it. Just wrote, asterisk, I hope you're happy. Asterisk. It's not forgiveness. But it's something. I kept my promise. I promised Nessa everything. I promised I'd show up. I'd stay. I'd be there for her and Dylan. And I did. Every single day. But because love isn't easy, it's messy, it's complicated, it costs you. But it's worth it. Every sacrifice, every hard conversation, every moment of doubt, every whispered judgment, every lost friendship, every gray hair and crow's foot and year that separates us. It's worth it. Because at the end of the day, I get to come home to them.